Hello, everyone. So this is our week one like power rankings like review. So we're gonna give like a rundown of the teams, and then we're gonna do studs and duds from like the conferences in our league. So like the American and National. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do three studs, three duds for pitching and hitting. Then we're gonna do just like the rankings. So coming in at number 10, Ganji Boobs. So there's not like a lot to say about him. He has like seven people in the IL, so not much you could do about that. Bellinger, Tatis, his top two picks are injured, so obviously you're not going to like perform that well. And then his hitting just there's a bunch of 5 and 6 and 2. Like no one performed. He had Castellanos and Mercedes who did like really, really, really good. And Otani, he kind of was iffy. Like he botched a couple of his starts, but his hitting was like pretty good. I think he had a couple home runs, and his pitching, not much to say about it either. Like Flaherty and Javier did like decent, and Scherzer not really meeting the like expectations of like his ace. So we'll see. He has a lot of potential with Tatis and Bellinger, but like if his team stays healthy, I could see like moving up in the rankings. So at number 10, we have James. You guys want to go with 9?
Easy.
No, that's Jungle.
That's you, bud.
Oh, my fault.
Can you get off of Fantrax? God.
This is what it is. Number 9. We're gonna go with Charles. Charles, 1, stop bitching to me. I'm not a commissioner. 2, your team really shitty this week. We know that. JD Davis, I don't even know who that is, but he sounds terrible. Jonathan Scope, way past his prime. Freddie Freeman was a good pick. Brandall, he's good as a catcher. Donaldson, I guess, didn't really play this week. Mondesi's been out. Christian Vasquez, Charlie does have 2 good catchers, so that's definitely a trade piece that he could explore. Arozarena, I guess he had an awful start to the year because I know he was torching the Yankees. I don't know how he's only averaging 3 points. Everyone else, like you can see, like this right here, this is what we call doo-doo. So we're gonna move past that. Pitching, Ian Anderson being your ace, a little rough. James Paxton, didn't he just get hurt, I believe?
Yeah,
Met you guys, I don't know.
No, I think so.
Yep, he did. This guy, yeah, I guess. Tyler Glasnow, he's all right, 21 points. Nathan Eovaldi was shitty on the Yankees, but kind of found his stride with the Red Sox a little bit. So Charlie's pitching, all in all, kind of ass. His hitting is much more ass. So we'll see what happens with his team.
Skipped over Bauer.
Yeah, he's got him, but
All right, enough of bashing Charlie.
Yeah.
Jason, you're next.
All right, that's 8. 8, we got Dean, who I beat by about 100 points this week.
Normal name.
No one really knew how many points Dean had because he kept putting Jeff McNeil at second base after we realized that if you put him at second base, it's not going to work. So, yeah, we kind of had to manually calculate it. Okay. So he also, Colton Wong, starting an injured player. Yes, Asian Lewis, who are also injured, and he actually benched Acuna once or twice this week. Don't know what that was about, but maybe he's not checking. I don't know. Either way, we had Dean ranked 10th coming into the season, so it was not that big of a surprise to see that he didn't break 400 in a week and a half. Pitching wise, not great either. Alcantara somehow was unbelievable. That's basically the only bright spot. Everyone else is kind of where we thought they'd be. And that's it for Dean.
All right. So at 10 we have James, 9 we have Charlie, 8 we have Dean, 7 we have Jeff Jing J. So his team, he claims he didn't start his lineup. I mean, if you put up 419, 420 without starting your lineup, I mean, I guess your team kind of has some talent and just fucking check your lineup. I mean, maybe you could have beat
He actually
the Lord and Savior, but so his lineup, I'm looking at it right now. He got some sneaky players. Soto, I mean, his first pick didn't really perform that well. Kyle Seager, I dropped him, and all of a sudden he decides to hit 3 home runs in a game or something like that. And Goldschmidt, sleeper of he had like a really like dud of a week, but I mean, we all know what he's capable of, so he has potential. Correa, did he just sign a contract or something? Did he just like get a big contract?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I thought I heard something about him, but Correa, he has potential too. And looking at his pitching, Ryu, he looked good against the Yankees for his first start. He has some good stuff, and we know what he could do. He was like a potential Cy Young winner last year, and then Bueller, really good too. So I mean, if he checks his lineup and like does some waiver picks, I think his team could be like pretty decent in the top 5 conversation. But yeah, not much to say, but check your lineup and the team could be decent.
Yeah,
Alright, so that's-
fun fact, Jeff actually deleted Fantrax on like Wednesday, or actually I think it was before that, so that's why he didn't set a lineup.
All right.
So
That's
so
the
I
7.
got the next spot. So our number 6 spot is myself. Very disappointed in my team. Losing to Justin is not the most fun thing. James McCann, the Mets, we all know they're really shitty, but I didn't think you would be. So a little bit of a disappointment there. Abreu is doing like okay, but he was the MVP last year, so I kind of expect a little bit more. Suarez not doing as well as I had hoped. DeYoung had like one good game, and since then he has not done well. Hitting just in general here has not been living up to their potential for the most part. Hunter Dozier here really hitting his stride of late with solid -2 points on the year. Nelson Cruz has been the lone bright spot in the hitting department for me, aging like a fine wine at 40 years old. Pitching wise, Clayton Kershaw was ass in his first start, got me a little bit worried, but he had a couple of bounce back starts since then, so I was happy with that. Justice Sheffield, I thought would be a good pickup. He has proved me to be wrong. Jose Barrios, one of the best pitchers in baseball right now. I do like him. I do have 2 great closers, even though they haven't really pitched. They didn't really pitch a lot last week. Definitely going to help my team, I think. Pineda was a solid pickup by me. This guy I'm very seriously considering releasing because he sucks. And Patrick Corbin, go die. All right, next.
All right, so Junger
Great
is the 6th seed. Wow, I stuttered. All right,
Yeah.
Jason, you're up. With
At 5, we got Potato. All right. So
what do you have to say about me?
even though he lost, I mean, I think our teams came within like 10, 15 points of each other. So not a bad week. High 400s. Don't really know much. Segura, probably you're expecting to a little better than 1.1. And Swanson kind of ass as well, averaging less than 1. I'm sure when Josh Bell comes back, though, that'll be a good boost for your team. Urshela went off against the Rays, at least yesterday, so that was fun to watch. Judge is, even though he's averaging 3.57, I feel like it's a quiet 3.57. I feel like he's kind of not playing well, but still averaging a lot. So that's good news for you. Pitching. So let's see. All right, pitching. No one 20 or above. Urias as the number 1 above Shane Bieber is very surprising to me. It's only 3.
Lance Lynn, Jason.
Oh, my bad. Didn't see him. Yeah, Lance Lynn having an unbelievable start to the season. I guess he had 2 starts at 25 points each, or something similar to that.
He had a 38 start and then a 12.
Yeah, so he's playing unbelievable baseball. He made Mike Trout look very bad a few nights ago. So that's very good for him. Having Bieber as a number 2, or I guess Lynn would be the number 2, but Bieber also, he'll pick it up. He'll be very good. And Castillo, what do you have, -19 in his first
It
start?
was very upsetting.
Big negatives, but he followed it up with a good start his second time around in the mid to high 20s. So looking good for pitching. I mean, Montgomery sucked yesterday, but he had a solid first start as well. So
Yeah,
I'd say pitching.
I wish Junger would go on ESPN. I dropped Montgomery and I picked up Luke Weaver. Did you see his start yesterday?
TripAdvisor.
He like pitched like a no-hitter through 7. I
Luke
grabbed
Weaver.
Yeah, Luke Weaver. All right, you're gonna go to my team, bro. Potato. It's a long one.
Oh,
Yeah, so Castillo.
Yeah. Followed it up with a great outing. I mean, it was against one of the worst teams in baseball, but still 26 points with the win is nothing to look
Yeah.
past.
yeah, this is
Alright.
really solid here,
All
Jay.
right, moving on.
So I was the 5th seed, and Junger was the 6th seed. Jeff was the 7th seed. Coming in at number 4, the person who always forgets his password, team Josh. All right, so no one expected him to be like a top 5 team looking at it after the draft, and he put up a monster performance. Like, you can't like just like disregard 510 points. He would have beat, I think, like 6 other teams in the league. So I mean, that's pretty impressive. Devers, we all bashed on him for taking him early, and he's kind of proving that wrong. I mean, he has 39 points right now, but he's been really hot. Bichette playing real well too. Buxton, he was top prospect a couple years ago. He's old. I think he's pretty old right now, but he's playing great baseball. Trout, and Ryan McMahon, whatever. He's 51 points, playing insane too. He's averaging 5.1. So Josh has like, his team is playing like to the peak performance. So I mean, if they could keep it up, or like even like slightly like this, then I mean, his team could be a real threat. He dropped Stanton. I mean, Stanton sucks, but like, he's Stanton, so like, don't do that again. And his pitching, John Means, I think he made the Yankees look silly. I think that was the matchup that
It was the Red Sox.
was the Red Sox that he did that too.
Yeah.
Or the Yankees. I mean, he still kind of didn't do horrible. Giolito, pretty good, 18 strikeouts in 2 outings. I mean, his pitching kind of like, I'd say it's pretty good on like looking at the league as a whole. So if his players keep on playing how they're doing, I mean, like I said, like 510 points. I mean, he scored more than like almost everyone in the league besides 2 people. So, I mean,
Wait, click on Wade Miley, Junger. He had 26. I want to see who he threw against.
Wade Miley, he picked
Pittsburgh.
up Wade Miley this week. I mean,
Pittsburgh's
today or
had a
yesterday.
really rough offense.
Oh, after the start?
Yeah, after the start. But I mean, still, I mean, keeping an eye on the waiver wire is important. So, I mean, good job, Josh, for beating J-Town. I mean,
Exceeding all expectations.
yeah, you shocked us and you made Junger look silly. So good job. Coming in at 4 was Josh. All right.
All right. Dean, you're at number 3. I don't know what's so funny that Jason's laughing at.
Why are you saying Dean's at 3? Are you retarded or retarded? Can you like get off your
Literally what
phone?
it says.
Bro, I did it in reverse
Oh,
order.
my bad.
Fucking dumbass. We already
My
talked about Dean. Now you're pissing me off.
That guy on the right side of the screen is number 3. We've got this guy. Sounds like some character from the Jungle Book. He's got Contreras, who apparently has not been good.
No.
Guerrero, good start to the year with Moustakas, 4.8 and 3.8. Rest of the hitting, though, kind of struggling, other than, this guy. You have George Springer.
I do, George Springer.
When he comes back, that'll definitely be a good boost to Jason's team.
Yeah, but having 3 guys averaging less than a point is
Yeah, that's not good.
not good.
Zach Greinke, he had 24 and 15, which is solid. DeGrom got absolutely no run support, which was unfortunate.
Such a shame.
if he got a loss with 28 points, that's an extra 8
Yeah.
points. If
He would have had
gets-
36. Yeah.
and then there's another 5 if he gets a win there. So DeGrom is definitely still doing DeGrom things. Aaron Savali, I don't even know if Jason drafted him. Oh, he did.
I did draft him.
But got a win in both matchups, so very good there. Strom Naya, I thought was a very good pick. He hasn't really been great so far, but we'll work on it. And Dustin May had 27 in his one start this year. So Jason is at number 3. Still a solid threat. He came into the year at number 1 or 2, I believe.
2.
But you
Two.
guys never saw that video. Somebody didn't want to release it. Not going to name names, but on to number 2. I don't know who number 2 is.
Jason's got it.
Number 2 is Matt. Okay, moving along. All right, I think Matt had like 520, 530 points, something like that. So his team kind of went crazy this week. I mean, Merrifield averaging over 6 is absurd, and Turner averaging over 5 is pretty absurd too. But throughout the rest of his hitting, I mean, he's got a bunch of guys over 3 and a bunch of guys over 4. So, I mean, hitting is looking pretty good. I know don't like Nimmo or Lindor or Dom Smith because they kind of screwed over DeGrom, both of his starts. But also Lindor averaging 1.2 and having 7 total on the season is, I think for his second, third round pick is not the best, but he'll pick it up for sure. So Cole, obviously great pitcher, averaging 24, 2 starts. So yeah, nothing surprising about that. I think the Goose going 38 points and 19 per.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah, no one expected that. Musgrove throwing the first no-hitter in Padres history is crazy. 43 points. I didn't even see that. It's 10 Ks. So with Wheeler, go to Wheeler's first start. Wheeler won the game by himself in his first start. I think he had like 3 RBIs and 3 hits or something similar to that, even though he had -2 against the Braves. The second time around, throwing 35 points in the first outing is pretty good. Well, so then go to Darvish. Yeah. 22 points out of Darvish. I mean, you expect better, but that's not bad by any means.
All right. So coming in at the number 1 spot, the man who loves to bash us commissioners, the man who has all problems and no solutions, Lord Sam Stein. All right. So, I mean, Commissioner Kraken came out cracking this week. I mean, if you look at his hitting, I think he has probably like 3 or 4 like top 1 like position players. I mean, let me look at the points real quick. Moving it down. Hoskins, I mean, started off with like Hoskin things, 3.2 solid. All these really slow start. Jose Ramirez, I know Junger hates him, but I think he did pretty well for first week. Turner didn't even play for the first couple of days. Started off really, really hot. Edie, not a bad middle like infielder guy to have. And the Ramirez Rendon, that's a good duo. Then looking at his outfield, I know he loves to jerk off Kyle Tucker. So, I mean, he's been playing really fucking well. 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. No one drafted him. He fell super, super far. I mean, I don't think anyone just like believed in him. Austin Meadows keeps on getting hit by the Yankees, but like he still seems to do well. And then the man that hour, JD Martinez. I mean, he's just putting up unreal numbers. 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. He's averaging the most points, has the most RBIs. And then Tyler Naquin, I mean, this guy out of nowhere. I mean, him and Castellanos are tearing it up in Cincinnati. I mean, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, still averaging a shit ton of points. So, I mean, his hitting probably could have beat Jeff by himself. And then we go to his pitching. I wasn't really a huge fan of his pitching in the beginning. I mean, looking at it, he has a couple good guys. I mean, Burns, he had a solid start. Cueto, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's washed, but maybe he'll get a couple good starts out of him. Same thing with Matz. I mean, everyone had high hopes for him in New York and then injuries and stuff. So, I mean, maybe like Toronto will be a good fit for him. And then, I mean, looking at his team, his relief pitchers are pretty fucking good. I mean, 47 out of both of them. I think that's more than one of mine, like both of mine combined. So, I mean, pitching is doing what it needs to do, and then his hitting is just playing to its like peak. So, I mean, he put up like 570. So if he keeps that up, I mean, he's probably going to be like have like a buy in the playoffs. I mean, we'll see. I mean, you don't see that many holes in the offense. So, I mean, so yeah. So number one, Lord Sam Stein.
One of you guys, I think, should address that issue with this player here.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie picked him up on Fantrax, and then Sam picked him up on ESPN. We were done with Fantrax when Sam picked him up. So I mean, you guys figure it out. I mean, I don't know how many times we had to address pick them up on both. So Charlie, that's on your end. And then Sam, I mean, you probably saw that Charlie didn't have him because you have to pick him up on both. So I mean, you guys figure it out. I mean, you guys want us to come off as like bad guys when we're trying to enforce things, but just follow the fucking rules. Like I don't know what else. Like pick him up on both. Like when you pick him up once on Fantrax when we were still on that, picking him up again. Like there was no excuse for that. So I mean, you guys figure it out. We know what we would want to do, but if you guys can figure it out, do it. Next up, I know this is a super long video, but just stick with
They
it.
won't all be this long.
Huh?
They won't all be this long.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we're gonna do Sam. We took part of your idea. We liked it. So we're gonna do kind of like the American and National from our league, I guess. So like the conferences. So we're gonna do the top 3 hitters and the top 3 pitchers from the American League, that like our conference, and then we're going to do top 3 hitters, top 3 pitchers from the National, and then we're going to do one bust from each. So I guess we could start off with the American League. Who's in that one? Let me see. Where did my pitch? Okay. Standings. So I'll read them out, and then we could. Oh, it's the East and the West. So I guess from the East is your guys' division. So I guess we could start off. I'll name the 3 guys that I think that really they performed to their peak this week, and you guys can touch upon them. So we have at number 1, I think JD Martinez, just monster. Then we also have Yermin Mercedes, and we also have Nelson Cruz. So if you guys want to touch upon them, go ahead.
So I'll start with Mercedes. I mean, he started the season 8 for 8 or 9 for 9, coming out of nowhere. I mean, I've never heard of him before that. So that was pretty crazy to start off. And then if you want to go to him, I think he's averaging, 6.3, and he shares time with Grandal, unless one of them DHs. But that's pretty crazy that he just kind of came out of nowhere and he's on Team Tits. So
it's a really good abbreviation, by the way.
Yeah,
very solid there. JD Martinez. If I can find him here, he's the best player in baseball for fantasy right now. He's averaging 9.4, which obviously isn't going to stay that way, but I mean,
putting up 75 points in a week and a few days is unbelievable.
Yeah, he could probably average like at least 5 if he's going to be doing this kind of stuff. I mean, he had 23 points on the 11th. 75 points is better than everyone else. I think the next most is 58 points.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's ridiculous that he's doing that much better than everyone else.
And
the last is Nelson Cruz. If you want to talk about him, he's on your team.
Sure.
I'll just say really quickly, I did not think he would be good at 40 years old. I did not think he'd be able to.
Fuck.
Yeah, 40 years old and
Texas. I'm not
sure
why I went to the Rangers because he's on the Twins. Nelson Cruz, second position ranked, 5.7 points a game. I mean, you could just see his numbers here. He's going off. Still playing at a really high level. It looks like he's got a decent hitting streak going here. So definitely a solid draft for me.
All right. So for pitching, we have 3 studs from the East. We have DeGrom, we have Berrios, and then we have Burns. I'll talk about DeGrom super quick. I mean, this poor guy. I mean, best pitcher in baseball, and he can't catch a win. He just like lights out every single performance, and the Mets just need to fucking do like their job. I mean, it's just so sad to see. Like, how many strikeouts did he have last performance? Was it 12 or 14? 14 fucking strikeouts. And like, it's just insane. So like, I mean, he's gonna consistently put up so many points for you, Jason, but like the extra 5 points boost will like just put it like out of like the park. I mean, like,
had he gotten 2 runs of support, he would have had 36 points.
I personally think DeGrom's a better pitcher than Cole, but Cole will be able to get wins. That's like the thing. They get run support and like for the Yankees, like not that much better, honestly. Well, like I think Cole could get some like wins, and like the extra 5-point boost can like make it like a decent start into like a really good start. And then DeGrom, if he fucking put up 28 points with a loss, like that's just like unheard of. So I mean, he's gonna continue to like over exceed like any expectation. So I mean, he's obviously gonna be a top 3 pitcher every single week. So if you guys want to talk about Barrios and Burns,
I'll
I'm gonna go with Barrios.
Yeah. He didn't come into the year with the highest of expectations by the rest of the league. I know that. I was kind of high on him. I know he's been on my team before. I know you guys deem him as a Jason player. And I'm proud to say he's a Jason player because he's a very good player. You can see his ERA this year, his strikeouts, 20 strikeouts in 2 games. He's only given up 1 home run, 2 wins. Twins are giving him some run support. So definitely a good, solid draft pick by me. He's the second best pitcher in the league right now.
All right, and then Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns.
So he is another guy who kind of went crazy last year, and no one really knew what the deal would be. Similar to Woodruff, who's the number 2 or 3, whatever it is on the Brewers, and also Kyle Tucker, who's on Sam's team. But 26 and 24 in 2 starts is great. I know the Brewers Yelich is not doing too well, so I mean, he's not getting too much support, but where are you going? Yeah, say that. But giving up 1 hit in both games with 20 strikeouts is
it's
lights out baseball. So, I mean, good for Corbin.
24 with a loss.
Yeah.
Solid. All right, so we're gonna stay in the East, and we're gonna do the duds. So we're gonna do 1 hitter and 1 pitcher. This week, wow, nice voice card. For this week, the dud we have is Gleyber Torres, and the dud pitcher we have is Max Fried. I'm gonna touch upon Max Fried right now because I'm on him. So we have pretty high to like standard like expectations for him. I mean, he's the ace in Atlanta. Atlanta is a powerhouse team, in my opinion. So, I mean, he was the first pitcher off of the draft board for Sam, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, he had a bad start, -10, and then he had a very, very mediocre start. So, I mean, I'm sure there were pitchers that have done much worse than him, but for what he was drafted at and like his worth, I mean, we'd probably expect him to have more than 1 point coming out of 2 starts. So I mean, high expectation.
Washington's not that great of a team either.
Yeah, right. For right now, at least. So I mean, coming out of the gate, didn't look too strong, but I mean, I'm sure he's gonna bounce back. So just keep an eye on him and see like what's going on. So that's the dud pitcher for the East. And then Jason, you want to talk about your little friendly shortstop over there?
Yeah, so I thought he'd be good. I mean, I know it's only a weekend, but I mean, averaging less than a point through a week and a half. Passed him.
Can't even find him.
Yeah, just go to Jason's team.
He's under.
He's a shortstop.
I have second base eligibility.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, 11 strikeouts in less than that amount of games, averaging 0.9. He's just been awful. I thought the Yankees would go after a shortstop to move him back to second base to give him more confidence, but apparently Cashman had other ideas, bringing in a second baseman, keeping him at short where he doesn't actually play.
Throws.
Yeah, so even though fielding doesn't really matter, he kind of has sucked at the plate. He had a good game yesterday, 5 points with 2 strikeouts. I mean, it is what it is. I guess he's just going to strike out twice a game, every single game. So that'll be something I have to deal with. Yeah, I think his eyes are closed.
All right. So now I'm moving into the West, which is my conference. The three stud hitters, really. So, I mean, there's a lot of good hitters in this conference, obviously, but the people were doing a mix of what we expected and then what we didn't expect. So, for the first stud, the man that carried Dean's team to a 100-point loss, Ronald Acuna. Then two players from Team Jash. We have Byron Buxton and we have Ryan McMahon. I still can't pronounce his name. Yeah, you guys want to tackle these?
Yeah.
All right. So
Quickly, Ronald Acuna obviously had high expectations coming to the year. He's an MVP candidate on a World Series caliber team, and he's living up to it. That's about all there is.
yeah, he kind of, if Dean played him every day this week, probably would have been less than 100-point loss. But he kind of torched me this week. All right, I guess Buxton's next. He's also sucked his entire career, or I guess just not lived up to expectations. Not really sucked, but I guess this is his breakout year. 56 points, 37 in the last week. So,
Yeah.
I mean, 5 home runs. I never thought of him as a power guy. I thought he was more of like a Billy Hamilton, like single and stolen base guy. But I guess he's bringing the power in.
All right. So then Ryan McMahon. I still can't say it. Okay. So this guy's kind of like taking over Arenado's position of like a power hitter, I guess you could say. I mean, he's playing pretty fucking well. I don't know what position he's at. I know he's eligible for 3 of them. I haven't been watching any Rockies baseball, so I don't know which position he's actually playing. But I mean, for what his draft worth was, I mean, he's exceeding expectations. So good for him. Good for Josh for picking him up or drafting him. I'm looking at, yeah, I mean, he had a game with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. So I mean, if he keeps that up, he's gonna be like a top 5 like player in one of those positions, either first, second, or third. So that's great for him to have all that versatility. So now hopping into the stud pitchers for the West. Yeah. So we have Trevor Bauer, we have Lance Lynn, and then we have Joe Musgrove. I'll talk about Lynn real quick because I have him. He is so old too. I feel like he's been in the fucking major leagues forever, and I feel like we drafted him when we were in like middle school as like an ace. I think James had him as his ace one year when we were in like 8th grade. So like he's been around for a while, but last season he pitched really well. So I just like took a chance on him, and he had one start with 12 points, and then he had 38. So I mean that's nothing to mess around about. White Sox, another powerhouse team. They have a sick lineup and a sick rotation. So I mean he fits in there perfectly. He pitched 9 innings, almost had a no-hitter, I'm pretty sure. So I mean, if he keeps that up, he could possibly might be like a number 2 instead of Castillo or Bieber for me. So I mean, pitched really well on a good team. Nothing else to say. If you guys want to talk about Bauer and Musgrove.
I'll go with Musgrove next. I mean, again, there's not much to say. Through the first no-hitter in Padres history. 10 Ks is great for any start. So, I mean, yeah, he hasn't given up a run in, 14, 15 innings of pitching. So, I mean, not much else to say.
3 hits in 15 innings. Pretty
when he was on Houston, he was supposed to be like really good, I think, right? He was on Houston, right?
Yeah. I think they moved him to the bullpen because he couldn't do it as a starter.
Yeah, I remember they had like high expectations. All right.
They had another guy. They had a long reliever that I had a little while, Chris Davinsky. That was good. And last one is Bauer. Nothing like too special. And I know his ERA is a little high, but that's kind of what Bauer is. Like he's gonna give up some runs sometimes, but like he's always gonna get his strikeouts. And like, you know, he has the perfect storm of those games where he doesn't give up those runs and he's still gonna have the strikeouts. So he was just consistent this week, 22 and 21. We admire consistency here. So that's why he's the third pitcher of the week.
And for the duds, we have for the hitter, we have Christian Yelich, and for the pitcher, we have Chris Paddock. I'll talk about Yelich super quick. He was my first round pick and he fucking sucks right now. He averages 2.1. He has 19 points on the day to day. I mean, I know last year he like choked and like striking out a lot and like everyone's like something with his swing. So I was like, okay, like whatever. It was a shortened season. And I also had him the year before. He's an all-star player, MVP candidate like a couple years ago. I mean, he did win, I'm pretty sure. So I mean, I took a chance on him and he just like is shitting the bed right now. I'm sure he's gonna pick it up, but like fucking ass. I don't know. All right. Jason or Junger, you can take Chris Paddock. I think he's on Sam's team.
Yeah, he's on Dean's team.
No, go ahead. Oh wait, no, you're Dean's.
No, he's on Dean's team. I played him this week. I mean, 5 points, I think, through 2 starts, or
Oh yeah.
might have been one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so 5 points in 2 starts against Texas and Arizona, 2 not so good teams. I mean, Paddock didn't have the highest of expectations. He was good 2 years ago. He kind of wasn't that great last year, but there was a lot of considerations for this spot. I mean, we thought of Luis Castillo also because he had -19, although he followed it up with mid to high 20s. So we decided to go with Paddock. I think he's like a middle of the road kind of guy for this season. He'll probably finish with 300 points, I would say.
So to finish off this really long recap, we're gonna do matchup of this week, and then we're gonna do like the most anticipated matchup for next week. So matchup of the week, we got to go with Jash upsetting Junger. Coming into the year, we had Junger ranked a little higher than Jash, and Jash is just Jash. So we seeing him, he was losing, I think, the first half of the week, and then all of a sudden his team just picked it up and he ended up being Junger by, I think, probably 50 points, something like that. So good for him. I mean, he upset him. Wow. And yeah, so just good for him. And the most anticipated matchup of the week, we have the 3 seed Jason Young versus the 6th seed J-Town. So I mean, these guys always bickering, a lot of beef. I mean, I know Junger really wants to whip his ass. I mean, looking at
And I'm going to.
last week's performance, I mean, Junger should just hide. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of trash talk this week. So I mean,
We're gonna see what happens.
just get ready for it, guys. Just get ready. There's gonna be some shots thrown, I'm sure. So that's our recap. I mean, it's gonna happen every week. Probably gonna be not this long, but just like try to watch it. I mean, it's
We
probably
never released the week 1, so we wanted to go through everyone's team and really,
yeah, it won't be this long always. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and if there's any critiques, you could shove it up your fucking ass. All right, you want to end it? You want to end it?
Yeah, that's good.
Still so